So I think we're ready to kick it off. So first thing we're going to do, everybody, is I'm going to invite two people to the stage who are in the Black Shirt Club. First is going to be Thomas. Second will be Randy. So Thomas has been with me for at least 2 years. Thomas flew from LA to London for the first seminar that we did in London. You came to the second one too, right? Yep. Then came back to London again last year for the second. Just the second one, sorry. So he came to London, joined the Black Shirt Club, and since then has completely changed his trading. He's going to talk about his payouts in a second. Thomas has been trading a little bit longer than Randy. Randy is a little bit newer. Randy's only a year and a few months into trading, but already taking multiple payouts. In fact, yesterday he took his first top 1 futures payout. So give him a round of applause. Randy, Thomas, come on up, boys. You guys can have a seat. And we'll kick this thing off. So the plan is we'll run this for about 30 minutes, and then we're going to move into the live trading with the boys. That's what she said. Beautiful. Here you go, boys. Yeah, you just got to click them up.
Testing.
Testing, testing. Cool. Testing. One more time. Round of applause for the boys. They've never done anything like it. So it's cool. So, proof of progress. Randy, first payout, April 11th. Second payout, May 1st. Congrats, buddy. It's a huge win. 14 months of work, 1 payout. Not an overnight success, but a real one. Why'd you want to start with this slide, Randy? Why did you want to, emphasize to people that it's 14 months of work for, well, now 2 payouts?
I just think, is it on?
Yeah.
So for me, it was just, I wanted people to understand that even though I was trading with the community, I was part of something, it didn't happen.
Mike, closer. Get it in that mouth.
Hello?
Yeah, get it down there.
Hello? Oh, yeah. But no, like I was saying, but just, this doesn't happen even if you join a community. Like, don't think that it's the magic answer. It took me 14 months to get a payout, but it's the, surviving that learning curve of 14 months that I want people to really understand, where I've had many instances where I wanted to give up. I didn't think I could do it. I thought I was a shitty trader. I just thought, this is not for me. And I didn't give up on it. And I spent 12 months actually of that trading from a place of scarcity when I didn't need to. And Tanner touched on that yesterday, and it was something that really hit home with me. And my bills were paid. I was always coming to Tampa. I had gone to Dallas. I did all these things to better myself, to be a better trader, but I was trading from a place of scarcity when I didn't need to. Once I let go of that, lo and behold, I get 2 payouts, not 1. So it's when traders say, when you stop wanting the money, it just comes. Like, you stop needing the money, it just becomes very natural. It's so true.
So true. Can you guys hear him okay in the back? Zach? Yeah. Michael Reese, can you hear him okay? Yeah. Get the mic close to your mouth, okay?
For touching my mouth? Like
touching the mouth, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We're friends. I spit on it yesterday. That's crazy. Now, it's Friday, boys. Come on. This isn't working now. Here we go. Thomas, you're up. So here's Thomas's payouts over the last couple of months here, everybody. Top step. With us in the Black Shirt Club, walk everybody just through real quick your journey of the London seminar to today.
Yeah, so I started trading, and I found a large difficulty finding a community that I resonated with. So I wanted to make it real for me, and for me, I needed to shake someone's hand and meet someone in person. So that was the first conference I went to in London, shook his hand, joined his mentorship, and now I'm seeing success from that, and I'm repaying that by, providing content online and showcasing my journey, because I see there's a gap between high-level education and then education for new traders, and there's a lot of questions that new traders have that is not answered. So that's my goal with kind of some of the things I'm going to be sharing in this presentation. And yeah, I mean, now I've taken a couple payouts, nothing crazy, but it's real and it's all possible. So I'm excited to be here.
Let's see if I can get this to work. Maybe it's dead. We'll go old school. Perfect. So here's a couple pictures, Thomas.
Yeah. So the first picture is me with David and Sam. They're small cap penny stock trader and then a mind coach. And then that was London 2023. And then that is all of us in Los Angeles. What I want to emphasize on this slide is that the biggest changes in my trading have been in the hours after these events, whether it's me in my hotel room going over my trading plan, reviewing what Evan talked about at the last seminar and adding that to my trading plan, or it's the conversations that we're having at dinner last night about abundance mindset. And, you know, I just think being around a group of like-minded people like we are and around people with the same goals, there's so much inspiration. And I would really motivate everyone to like take the energy that you get from this conference and use it to make a change in your trading, because every single time I come to one of these, it's the sixth one, something changes for me. There's a one-liner that I remember, and it's specific one-liners from each conference that I remember that I take into my trading day every single day, and that's been a huge, huge important, you know, thing for me right now.
Any one-liners that you can share?
Be hard to kill.
Oh, good
Be
one.
hard to kill.
Okay, so let's talk here. What do I actually need to improve on is a really good question.
And so here's my corny little graph. So we all start getting into trading with curiosity. No, we don't really know what it is, but we see people doing it. And between each level, it could be years, it could be months, it could be years, depending on how fast you progress. So most of us, we're all at level 2. We all, you know, we're all here. We all have a technical based strategy. We all have a community we trade with. But then the next level, once we get to this technical learning and community, we see the success, we see what's possible, but we don't always know how to get there and the steps to make it. So that's where we need a coach to help us. So the goal at the end of the day is to be consistent with your trade execution. But you can't be consistent with your trade execution if you're not consistent up here. So that's why I put that as number 3. Number 3 is overcoming yourself and all of those, you know, demons, for a lack of a better word, that we struggle with trade management, whatever it might be. And that's different for everybody. So that's not, you know, I don't need to cover that. But at the end of the day, it's just about executing your strategy with consistency. And I do a lot of journaling, and I find that there's certain questions that I ask myself that have really helped me evaluate whether I am trading with emotions, whether I'm trading with a strategy that's consistent. And I think there's discrepancy between whether you're actually executing your strategy with consistency on like a rules-based strategy versus just executing it off of an emotion. So I want to share some of the questions that I ask myself to help, you know, go back and journal and find, was this a question, or was this a trade I took with emotions? Did I manage this properly, or was I, you know, kind of self-sabotaging myself? So first and foremost is keeping your charts simple. I can't stress this enough that we all want like the flashy object, whatever's going to work. And I hope that we can take away from all the amazing guest speakers that there's no one size that fits all, but it's most important to be consistent. On the left, this is someone who is genuinely trying to make money in trading. They're paying for mentorship and everything. They have EMAs, volume, RSI, key levels, VWAPs, trend lines. How are you going to make consistent decisions with so much information? We already have enough doubt as traders in our mind. Every single setup we've taken, we've seen it lose and we've seen it win. So how are we going to make consistent decisions with almost random information? You're going to put weight on one thing one time and then not the next time. So I started trading ES only after the London seminar. That was one of the biggest mental shifts for me, is becoming a specialist in one market. I trade using a few key VWAPs in the opening range. Anytime I've ever added anything on, I've added the 21 EMA, I've added the whatever you want to call it, I've always removed it the next week because it doesn't help. If something doesn't resonate with you about your strategy, don't be afraid to change it. But really audit what you're adding to your charts, and what you're is it actually going to add value, or is it just kind of jumbling your clarity?
Even like yesterday when you were asking me about combining Isaac's thing with VWAP, what you're doing, Randy. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's just adding stuff that you don't need. It's like if you see a flashy object, you see Isaac make easy 10K, but that doesn't mean you should just add that to your chart. So for trade entries and trade management, basically we're all discretionary traders to some degree. I don't know if anyone in here is actually using a real bot, but we're all discretionary if we're not 100% algorithmic. So not all entries are going to be replicable, but do you have a repeatable way to find a session bias and a way into the market? That, for me, is the most important thing with my strategy. Anything on my trading plan, I want to know for sure I have a repeatable way to find my bias and then a way into the market to capitalize on that bias. And then next is, this is a huge one for me, and I would really challenge everyone to ask yourself, are you managing your trades with a system or with emotion? And you like kind of have to keep asking yourself why you did something to really understand why, because, I mean, I love the phrase, is it a business cost or is it a loss? Because when it's a business cost, we can all eat that. We all know losses are part of trading. But when it's just a loss, that's something that you did to affect your trade, to whatever it was, whether you took too small of a winner, whether you cut a loser that ran to your take profit, all of these things. So this is the question that I ask myself with every single trade, if I managed it, which I actually have found my trade management does not help. So this year, I've been doing no trade management. I'm either full in or full out. And I've seen more success this year with that. So these are that's a question that I'm going to ask myself after every trade to audit that process. And then lastly, are you consistently following the plan you set yourself out prior to entry? On those chart markups, I use it as like a canvas to print my thoughts. Anything I'm thinking about, I just write it down. And particularly before my entry, I'm going to have exactly what I want to do. And I'm going to put it on the chart so that after I can look back and see, did I actually do what I wanted to do, or did I stray from the initial plan? And then that can give me a really good idea of whether I was managing a trade with my system or with emotions.
Everybody got a picture of this one? Randy.
How do I even follow this? Like,
He's good.
Thomas is just crushing it, so I'm even more nervous now. But yeah, for me, the 4 lessons that changed my trading, and again, letting go of needing the money, this place of trading from scarcity and not realizing, if you put yourself in a position where you need to trade to pay your rent, you shouldn't be trading. Like, you need to be in a financial position where you can focus on trading, and the outcome of the trade is not going to dictate whether you have food on the table or not. Because if that's where you're coming from, you're never going to make right decisions. You're always going to be chasing everything. And for some weird reason, I put myself in that mindset, even though there was food on the table, we had a roof over our head, we were still enjoying our lives. So letting go of needing the money was huge. The 2 payouts I took, the first payout I took in the middle of April, the money's still sitting in the Rise account. I didn't realize that. I thought as soon as I get the money, I'll take it out and I'll go spend it on something. And now it's like I almost forgot it was there. So it's having that, letting go of that need of like wanting this instant gratification of getting paid, and then almost like showing everybody like, hey, like, look, I went and bought this with my payout. Like, that's not why we want to be traders. We want to be traders because we want to be successful, long-term, and profitable. That was a big one for me. Small wins are huge. If you're struggling in trading, just try and dial it back. Get some small wins, and just the confidence and conviction will build. For me, I spent a lot of time thinking me being right was confidence and conviction, and those are 2 different things. Right? Me being right is me being stubborn, and I lost every time. When I was confident and convicted in a trade, it played out beautifully. I managed it well. It was a home run. So for me, it's so easy to be like, I wanted to be right, so I was convicted. No, I wasn't convicted. I just was stubborn, and I didn't want to be wrong. So that really helped me.
That was huge.
This year, Austin pushed me to start doing social media, and I started a YouTube channel.
You sound like a boomer when you say it like that.
I'm 43, by the way, if you guys can't tell. You probably think I'm a lot younger, but... But no, so Austin pushed me just to get... Another thing is just getting out of this comfort zone we're in. And this comfort zone puts us in a place of fear. You get yourself out of this comfort zone, you grow. I'm sitting on a stage talking to you. I never pictured myself doing this. I make YouTube videos, daily recaps every day of my trading day, whether it's a winner, a mental breakdown day. And I have people reach out to me all the time. It's the coolest feeling, and be like, hey, I saw your video and it stopped me from doing this today. And just to hear that makes me more confident in my trading, and confident just as a person, like putting good energy out there. You'll receive good energy back. I'm a strong believer in that. So creating the content, putting yourself out there, getting out of this comfort zone is big if you want to be successful at anything in life. Just put yourself out there. Journaling's another thing I didn't do, and clearly you guys know my age now, but I spent my whole life, I haven't had multiple businesses, I've been successful in things, but I've never journaled, and I didn't realize until I started journaling. And in the beginning, you have to be honest. You can't just journal your winners and be like, oh, this is I'm doing it right, but not really. You want to spend more time on the losers. You got to focus on the losing trades, what's happening in the trade, why are you losing? Like Thomas said, how do you feel the emotions? And that's where journaling is huge. The reflection every day. And for me, journaling is, I do it in a daily report card, and then I do it in a video, so I get to see it visually, and it really, really helps. And then what changed for me, the mindset was, staying consistent. Once you get that consistency, you build that conviction and that confidence, and once you have those, you're unstoppable. You're going to take losers, but they're going to be smaller than your winners, and you're going to stack up wins, and before you know it, I wasn't expecting to take a payout, I took 2. And literally on the way to coming to this trip, like, how did that even work out like that? You can say the universe is, someone upstairs is looking out. Well, you wouldn't say anything, right? But it just
Downstairs for you, buddy.
yeah, well, exactly. And then
It's Friday. I told you we're spicing it up, bro.
a big thing I've been working on this year too is after meeting Sam in LA was the emotional self-awareness. You don't realize when you're in a trade the stuff that's going through your body, the dopamine, the emotions and how you're feeling and how you're reacting without even thinking about it. You're thinking something here, but your hand is doing something else. You're pushing a button, you're doing this, you're buying, selling, getting out of a trade, moving your stop. But you're like, Austin said it, I think, really good yesterday, just take a step back from the desk. Just be self-aware, feel how you're feeling in that moment. Journal if you can, but just really pay attention to what your body's telling you. Your unconscious mind is a powerful, powerful tool, and it's in the driver's seat majority of the time, and you don't even realize it. And locking my account early to protect my good days, that's something in the beginning when I first started trading, I thought by not locking my account, I have the discipline. Like I'd have a winning day and I'd be like, I don't have to lock my account, I'm not a junkie. And lo and behold, I would come back to the desk later to do some journaling and something would present and blown account. So it just goes to show I am a junkie. I have an addiction to trading. It's an addictive thing. Like we gotta learn to manage these emotions. It's a form of legalized gambling and we're gamifying it with the prop space. So
Well, that was a thing in the LA conference with David. He was like, I don't like the word degen.
Yeah.
And the three of us were like, well, I'm out then. So it's like it's a balancing act for sure.
And then coming to Tampa, for me, LA was a mental shift. It was all mindset stuff that I worked on. Dallas was technical. Tampa, I came here, and now again, I'm mentally just sitting in the room and listening to everybody talk around me, and my mind is just hearing things, and it's just soaking it in. So, huge thing again. And then believing in your future self. In LA, I told myself one day when I left LA that I'd be sitting on a stage talking about trading, and here I am. So, have that belief in yourself, and the conviction, the confidence all comes with it. And
We could clap for that.
Yeah, Randy.
but it's
And we could clap for that calendar. That ain't bad looking.
well, I didn't get to update it, but I was about to take a payout in my top 1 account last week on stream with Austin. Austin hits his payout. I didn't hit it that day. I put the unneeded pressure on myself on Monday morning before this trip to pass this to get funded, and I almost blew the account. I had a day of 11 trades, which is over trading for me. I was down $1,000. I had to break my rules to get back to break even for the day. So I felt like crap, even though I got back all my losses. It was just, I felt like shit. So it's like, there's no win in it. And, I took my time and I spent the next 2 days passing that account and getting it to a payout. But it's, not having these, if you look at my other red day there, it's 8 trades. I'm down $1,000, and the rest of my day I'm up 250, 300, small greens and some big greens, but I'm able to absorb that one bad day, 2 bad days actually, but just be consistent. The conviction comes. And with the conviction, like Tanner said yesterday, when you do your journaling, and we do it in the Black Shirt Club, we have a trade of the day that we put in our journal every day. And for the longest time, I thought that meant pick which one of my trades was a trade of the day. And it wasn't. It was pick whatever the best setup was, win or lose. And when you get conviction and confidence, you're going to have a day where you're one and done, you're doing your journal, and the trade of the day was your trade. Mm-hmm. That's when you know that, hey, this is all clicking now. Like, everything that you've worked your way towards is, like, there on the piece of paper in front of you, and it's like, the calendar will show it. And you'll be, like, there's days in there where it's just one trade, one and done. And I trade at 6:30 a.m. on the West Coast. I can be done by 7:30, 8:30 a.m., and I have the whole day to spend with my family. So it's, just be consistent and build the discipline and, be kind to yourself.
I want to say one thing on the calendar. When I look back at my calendar, I only see green or red. I don't see the number. So for me, it's been a really powerful mental shift of like, even if it's 200, for me, I'm like maybe shoot for 800. But if it's 200, I take that because when I think about my best trading weeks, I just know it was green for 10 days in a row. It was green for 15 days in a row. It not that it was 5,000, 2,000. It's more about the green and the red, especially like respecting the process where we're at right now. Because a lot of us are all newer traders, so we're respecting the process of green days rather than the process of large P&L, because that's just going to come with time.
I love it. Give them a round of applause, everybody. Great job, boys. You guys can have a seat. Thank you very much.